Hello everyone. We'll continue with the internet concepts. Next video. Internet, intranet and extranet. You must know these three terms and the difference between them. We have seen that internet is the global network. The most notable example is WAN, wide area network. It is the biggest WAN, that is internet. Intranet is an organization's private network accessible only to authorized users. If you look at this diagram here, you know in a company there can be a LAN, local area network, which is used by all the employees of that organization. So it's possible that you can have your own private, you can say, internet within an organization, and the services will be available only to the employees of that organization, that network. So that is intranet. It is organization's private network. So they will have their own local server as such, which will serve all the users connected to that network. So such network is called intranet. Next term is extranet. It's a website allowing third parties, vendors, suppliers and similar subjects to access certain resources of an organization. So if you consider extranet, it is a kind of intranet, but it gives access also to third party organizations. Say suppose there is a company who has their own customers, their suppliers. So if a company includes even these organizations to take part in their network, then it would be called as extranet. That is, besides their own organization, they are allowing other organization to take part in their network services as such. So that is extranet, where it has extra services included. And internet, as we have already seen what is internet. So these three terms you must know: intranet, extranet and internet. There's one more term that many times a question is asked for exam about: telnet. What is telnet? Its full form is telecommunication network. It's a network protocol used on the internet or local area network connections. It's a program which allows a user on one system to log into a remote system and issue commands in a command window of the remote system. Like suppose if you are using a telnet services, suppose you are a telnet client, you can get connected to telnet server and you can communicate to that server via different commands called as telnet commands. Even in Windows 10, this feature is available. You can activate telnet client services and you can communicate to any server which is remotely connected to your computer. So that is telnet. So exam point of view, just remember, it is a program that allows a user on a system to log into a remote system. Many times this word remote system is like a key word for you to know that they are talking about a telnet service. Internet security. We have already talked a lot about cyber security. Now specifically when you talk about internet security, it's a process of securing all incoming and outgoing data from your computer while on the internet. The internet harbors many security hazards. As we know, once we are connected to the net, risks are more. Anybody can send the data through different routes to your computer system, or the data can be hacked also. But of course all that can be avoided, and mostly using a browser and virus protection. So you must choose a web browser such that it will provide all such security feature when you are using internet. And a good antivirus software, actually a good antivirus software takes care of everything, right from malware, firewall, all that is built into that antivirus software. So what are the security features that should be included when you are talking about a good browser or a good antivirus software? Hypertext transfer protocol secure. We have talked about this also. HTTPS. It's a protocol that allows you to view web pages, but the moment you see letter S, it is secure. That is, data is encoded. Okay. Authentication, verifying the identity of the user. Like there are certain credentials only when you, some website allows you to enter some credentials, only when you enter correct username, password, it allows you to work on that particular website. Digital certificate, which are equivalent to an ID card and digitally signed by the creator of the certificate. Encryption, this is coding and decoding of the data that gets transmitted over the network. Firewalls, it allows you to restrict unauthorized users. We'll see about firewall in more detail. So just remember all these words which comes under as a feature under internet security. What is firewall? A firewall is a network security device that monitors incoming and outgoing network traffic and permits or blocks data packets based on a set of security rules. Now consider this is your PC and this is the firewall that you have. Now firewall, remember, it can be either a hardware or as a software or a combination of both. So when you are connected to the internet, you get a data, say here green data packets are indicated as coming from a friend, and this is, say, maybe from some hacker. So when these green data packets travel across the network and it passes through this firewall, it will prevent the entry of all these red data packets, and it allows you to, it allows only the green colored data packets, which means whatever incoming traffic is there, actually both incoming and outgoing traffic is controlled by this firewall. A hardware firewall is a physical device that is attached to a network, while a software firewall is installed on each of your computer, phone or tablets. Software firewall is also inbuilt in antivirus software. Also Windows operating system, there is by default you have a firewall that is activated. And hardware firewall, if you talk about, mostly they are say when you use router and all, it is inbuilt into such network devices which takes care of the network traffic. Okay. So firewall plays a major role in internet security actually. Search engines, we use this search engine every now and then, mostly we make use of Google. So what is search engine? It's a software system that is designed to carry out web search, which means to search the World Wide Web in a systematic way for particular information specified in textual web search query. Though we use most of the times Google, also remember there are many other search engines available, like Bing, which is from the Microsoft, Yahoo, Baidu, this is Chinese software, American Online, Ask.com, Excite, DuckDuckGo, and these are all different examples of search engine. In fact, they are the top rated search engine. Out of all these, which is very popular and used by most of the people all over the world, is Google. What is a directory service? This is one more term you have to know about. It provides a central repository for storing and managing information. Almost any kind of information can be stored, from identity profile and access privileges to information about application and network resources, printers, network devices, and manufactured parts. An example of a directory service is the domain name system, which is provided by DNS server. I hope you remember what is DNS. Whenever you want to visit any website, you only type the website name, but it is mapped to some IP address, and all such mapping of the domain name with IP address is done using DNS server. So that is one example of directory service. Two of the most widely used directory services are LDAP, and which is used for email services, and other is NetWare directory service, which is used in novel NetWare networks. There is one more term you have to know about: Active Directory. It's a collection of users' computers that are part of same centralized database. It's a database that keeps track of all the user documents and passwords in your organization. Here it is shown diagrammatically. This is of Windows Server 2000.